Hey, what's going on YouTube? Alabama Reloader here. So I actually had a couple of other videos that I had planned to put out before this one, but just got back from the range with the new, I don't know what we want to call it. We got to come up with a name. Somebody had a pretty good name the other day, I believe on the live stream. This is the Rim Arms 700 that was a CDL originally in 243 Winchester. You guys have been following along. Spun the barrel off over at Mr. Big Guns in Huntsville. We used their barrel vise. That video is posted. You can go check it out. And I had picked up this Christensen Arms Mesa 6.5 Creedmoor barrel from J&A Outdoors, and we were extremely shocked and happy that this barrel threaded on and headspaced properly. The bolt was able to close on the go gauge. It did not close on the no-go gauge. We couldn't believe it. The thing headspaced properly. We just spun it on there, torqued it to spec, and we were good to go. So really excited about that. You guys can go check out that video. But the stock obviously is not the Remington or Rim Arms 700 CDL stock. This is an AG Composites Privateer stock. I believe it's the lightest weight carbon fiber stock that they sell. So shout out to those guys because this thing is super sweet. Now, we got to come up with a name because this is a bit of a Frankenstein gun. This stock was not even made for this particular rifle at all. This stock was actually made for a Remington 700 Tactical and 300 Blackout that had more of a bull barrel on it. So the barrel channel is super large. This thing is free floated big time, so no issues there. But the stock was not even made for this action even, right? It's a completely different action. So yeah, I mean Remington 700 footprint, but not for this particular action. So that's the setup. It's got an SWFA 2.5 to 10. That's the ultralight, the SWFA ultralight. That's what's sitting on top of it. I think it's 2.5 to 10 by 32 millimeter, I believe. What else? Oh, I did while I was at Mr. Big Guns, you know, doing the barrel swap. I did go ahead and upgrade the trigger. So that's a Bixen Andy Tac Sport Pro, I believe it's called. Which is a competition trigger. That's overkill for hunting, which is what this will be used for. But that's what they had sitting on the shelf, and I wanted to go ahead and do it while we had everything torn apart. And so I went ahead and picked that up. That is adjustable from like 3 ounces up to 2 pounds. Right now, we've got it set breaking just under 2 pounds, which is where I like to have, if I have an adjustable trigger on my hunting rifles, I typically have it adjusted down to about 2 pounds. 2 pounds or slightly under. That's where I like to hunt with them. That's me, that's not you. If you like a heavy trigger, more power to you. But, so that's the setup, that's its current configuration. Took it to the range. I did pick up a box of the Hornady 147 grain match. I got this stuff over at Midway Pistol and Ammo in Gurley, Alabama, so shout out to Mark and those guys over there. Went ahead and picked it up because I wanted a baseline, right? I've loaded a ton of 6.5 Creedmoor throughout the time, you know, that I've had this channel and that I've been into reloading in general. I've loaded a lot of 6.5 Creedmoor and I've had really good success with it. It's been a very easy cartridge to load for, get really good precision and accuracy out of. It performs extremely well on game in the field. I've now killed more whitetail with it than I have any other cartridge. And I have not been disappointed at all. It's done an extremely good job in the field. So I was pretty pumped to get this thing back into a cartridge that I really enjoy loading for. So, but didn't know how it would shoot, right? Because it's kind of somewhat hobbled together because again, the stock was not made for this receiver and barrel profile, you know, just the whole nine, right? Yeah. Factory ammo, checked it out. I did scrub the barrel down to pretty much bare metal. I'm pretty sure it was bare metal just due to the fact that I couldn't get anything else out of the barrel. So it was pretty clean. That's what I wanted to do, take it down to bare metal, shoot some factory stuff through it, just see how the performance looks, see how it's grouping. And then I loaded up 3 loads actually that performed very well for me in the past. And I know this says 308 Win, but I use it for 6.5 Creedmoor also. I was able to shoot 2 of those today. I did not get to these are the Hornady 160 interlocks. I didn't get to shoot that 10-shot group. I ran out of time. So but I was able to get the 140 grain Spear Gold Dot and the 140 grain Spear Impact. I got both of those loads shot today. They're 10 shot groups, so I didn't break them up into like 3 shot groups or 2 5-shot groups or whatever, because I know, you know, people, that's their thing nowadays. They want to harp on, you know, if you're not shooting a 200 shot group, then why are you even going to the range? It's just a complete waste of time, and you're better off never shooting a gun ever. That's kind of how people are acting nowadays. But I did want to shoot 10 shots just to get velocity data in one string, and then also see how the groups would look, right? Compared to, you know, I typically shoot 3 and 5 shot groups, especially for the loads that have been developed in the past, and they had always performed well. I've actually, I killed deer with the Gold Dot load. The Impact load, my buddy actually killed a nice 8-point with it this season. So y'all can let him know that he killed something that was validated with a 3-shot group, so that deer technically shouldn't be dead. I don't know, maybe, yeah. I have no idea how that happened, because that should not happen. If you shoot 3-shot groups, there's no way. There's just no way. I mean, it should be against physics or something that these guys are spitting out. But I don't know. It's crazy, but the deer's dead, and he's got a European mount now because of it. I don't know. Shot those, used the Garmin chronograph. You know, shout out to Reloading Quest. He's the guy that makes all this 3D printed stuff that's really cool. You can go check him out and order. If you've got the Garmin, it doesn't come with a case, so this is a handy case to have. But let's get down to it. I didn't look up the velocity. I did shoot 2 5-shot groups with the factory stuff, because right after the first shots through the barrel were with this stuff. Shot a 5-shot group, and it was more or less to foul in the barrel, because again, it was bare metal. And then switched over, shot a couple of other guns, and then came back and I shot a 5-shot group just to see what that would look like. Of course, you know, shot a couple other guns and cartridges and all that stuff, and then came back and I shot my hunting loads. So we'll go straight to the target, because that's what you guys care about. So here is the first 5. Okay, my point of aim was up here, right? Point of aim, center of the target, and first shot, and then it kind of climbed the rest of the way with each subsequent shot. So looking at that, and I was like, I don't guess this gun really likes this ammo combination, the 147 grain ELDM. But, you know, we are fouling in the barrel, so I wasn't expecting it to shoot this, which this is not 6.5 Creedmoor. That's 30 TC, so really excited about that. That's gonna be another video. That's what I was talking about. There's other videos that I had planned before this. So came back after shooting some 270 Winchester, some other stuff, and I made a scope adjustment up and over, and then shot that 5-shot group. So, yep. So that shot really well. I was extremely pleased with that. That's 5 shots. Measured 0.74 inches. Velocity, I did grab that velocity. So it was 2666, SD 11.6, extreme spread 27.8. Again, that's on that Hornady factory stuff. That's probably on the top end, right? I wouldn't expect it to get much better than that. So we'll see though. I've still got 10 more rounds left. I didn't shoot all 20. Again, I ran out of time. And so now let's switch over to the 2 hunting loads. So this is the 140 grain Spear Gold Dot load. You'll see we put eight shots here. You know, point of aim was here. 8 of these shots went into 1.1 inches, and then this opened it up. You know, I can't remember what that measurement was. And then, so this was the very first shot, just FYI. That was the very first shot out of the 10-shot string. And then from there, everything else migrated here and grouped here on the 8. That shot I didn't feel super confident in, but it is what it is. We're not gonna dismiss any of the shots. So there's the 10. If you go outside to outside, that's like, that's well over 2 inches. If you go outside to outside on that group. But again, 8 within 1.1. Now that load is, got it written down, that's 42 grains of H4350. It's not gonna focus. 42 grains, H4350, 140 grain spear, 140 grain spear gold dot, 2.75 on the cartridge overall length. My velocity was 2693, SD 6.8, extreme spread 24.8. So really good velocity numbers. You know, that's one of those where I would go back and I would want to validate this, right, again, and just kind of check it out and see how that's going to shoot. I mean, it could definitely be shooting like that if I shoot 10-shot groups, but if I go out and I shoot a bunch of 3-shot groups and you stack them all on top of each other and they're pretty dang good and good enough to hunt whitetail deer with at, you know, 250, 300 yards, then we're going to send it. So, but that's been a good load for me in the past. And then the 140 grain spear impact shot even better. So it put all 10 shots into 1.1 inches. Outside to outside was 1.364. Yep. So then just subtract bullet diameter. And so we were at 1.1. Really, really happy with how that load shot. That's the load that my buddy killed that 8-point with. It is 44.8 grains of Power Pro, Alliant Power Pro 4000 MR. Check out the velocities. We're at 2782, SD 10.4, extreme spread of 33.5. So really, really, really good performance. Oh, cartridge overall length 2.825. I mean, that's pretty awesome, right? That's zero load development, zero anything on this brand new barrel, right? That's just picking loads that had shot well for me in the past, loading them up, throwing them in there, seeing how they do. I mean, I'm happy to just load more of those Spear Impact. I think I've got 20 more pieces of this Lapua brass that I'd processed all at the same time. I'd be happy with just loading those, and there's my hunting ammo, done. Like, just call it a day. I'm ready to go. Don't really know how much more tweaking I'll do on that particular load. I'm sure we could refine it a little bit, but I don't care. It's shooting great for what its intended purpose is. Now on the gold dot, might shoot a little bit more of those. I don't have a lot of the 140s left. I burned through quite a bit of those. I do have a lot of the 120s. May try those, I don't really know. Might try those in this particular setup, but yeah, I'm extremely pleased with how this project is going. I don't think you could have scripted it any better, where you just buy a random barrel, you know, thread it on, the thing head spaces properly, and then go out and to have it demonstrate the potential, right, to be a really good shooter. That's good stuff. So I'm super pumped about that. Again, you know, I'm shooting a 2.5 to 10 power scope, 32 mil objective, right? It's not like we've got some big 6 to 24 power target scope on there, you know, and you can hold extremely tight. And so, yeah, that's not really the purpose. This is a hunting rig, and I'm extremely happy with how it's shooting so far. So that's, what did we put? 20. So we got 40, wait, no, excuse me. 10, 20, 30. We got 30 rounds down the barrel so far. I will go ahead and clean it. Not anything too crazy or aggressive. I'll run some patches through it, and then that's about it. And just kind of see what that looks like when I go back. And I'll start off with this stuff again. I'll shoot the 160s. And then I also have some Bergers, some 135 Berger Classic Hunters. I've got some of those already loaded up with N560, I believe it was. Now I'm questioning myself. That might not be the powder. Can't remember. Either way, I want to see how those shoot as well. It's something that I'd loaded up for my Kimber back when I had that gun, which I no longer have it. So now I just want to switch over. I think I had 18 shots left. I had 6 3-shot groups remaining. So I'll just see how they shoot in this gun. But there you go, guys. There's your update on how this thing performed first trip to the range. Couldn't be happier. Like I said, had our fouling shots, followed it up with a 5-shot group. And I was shooting the barrel. I wasn't waiting and letting it get completely cool in between shots on the barrel. because I was shooting a 10-shot string. I mean, it wasn't smoking hot. I was giving it a couple of minutes in between each shot, but you know, I didn't want to break the string. And so to do that, the barrel stayed a little bit warm throughout the entire 10-shot string for both of these, right? On the 5-shot, yeah, I was able to take my time, let it kind of cool back down in between. But on these, it stayed a little bit warm. But I'm extremely happy with how the performance is looking so far, at least the potential performance. So, all right, guys, that's it. That's where we're gonna leave it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget, go check out the folks that I mentioned in this video, because otherwise, I mean, this project wouldn't be happening without those people, right? AG composite stock, that's the best carbon fiber stock you can get, period. Best one on the market. Midway Pistol and Ammo out in Gurley hooking me up with the ammo and the target, by the way. That's where I got that target from. And then, of course, I bought the chronograph over at Mr. Big Guns in Huntsville. And obviously, this project wouldn't be happening without Matt and those guys, because we used their barrel vise and was able to actually get this thing swapped over. So, Reloading Quest, we've got the case from him. We got the loading block from him. I know it says 308, but whatever. It's even got Alabama Reloader on the side. Super cool. But yeah, awesome stuff, guys. I'm super pumped. That's why I wanted to go ahead and get you all this video now instead of having to sit on it and wait. I've got some other stuff that I'll be putting out pretty soon on 30TC 270 Winchester. So y'all stay tuned for that. But that's it for now. We'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a good one.